Are you struggling to use leaky reuse in Keras? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into how to effectively use activation functions with parameters in the latest version of Keras. I totally get it. It can be really frustrating when you're trying to implement a feature and it just doesn't work as expected. Many users have faced similar issues when working with activation functions in Keras. Let's take a closer look at the specific question at hand. One user asked, "How can I use leaky reuse in Keras?" They tried to pass an alpha parameter to the relu function but encountered an error. Sound familiar? Let's explore how to solve this. So what's happening here? The relu function in Keras does accept an optional parameter called alpha, which controls the negative slope. However, the way it's being called in the user's code is causing a type error because the function is missing a required argument. Stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to implement leaky reuse and other activation functions with parameters in Keras, and I promise it will be worth your while. To use leaky reuse in Keras, the user should start by importing the necessary modules. Specifically, they need to import the Keras layers and the leaky reuse activation function. Next, the user should create a model using the sequential class. This allows them to build their neural network layer by layer. Now, the user can add layers to the model. When adding a layer, they should specify the activation function as leaky reuse and pass the alpha parameter to control the negative slope. Finally, the user should compile the model. This step is essential to prepare the model for training. They can specify the optimizer and loss function as needed. With these steps completed, the user can now train their model using the fit method, providing the training data and labels. Fun fact, the leaky reuse activation function was introduced to help neural networks learn better by allowing a small, non-zero gradient when the unit is not active. It's like giving your model a little boost. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach to using leaky reuse in Keras involves adding a linear activation layer first, followed by a leaky reuse layer. This method allows you to specify the alpha parameter for the leaky reuse. Now let's dive into a different answer from another user. One alternative solution is to create a wrapper for parameterized activation functions. This user suggests defining a class that allows you to pass parameters easily. You can then use this wrapper to apply the leaky reuse activation with an alpha value. Now, let's shift our focus to a different response. This user suggests using predefined activation layers in Keras, like leaky reuse, which allows you to specify parameters directly. For example, you can add a leaky reuse layer with an alpha value of 0.2 in your model. If the activation function you need isn't predefined, you can use a lambda layer. However, be cautious as lambda layers have serialization limitations. It's often better to subclass tf.keras.layers.layer for custom activations. Here's a quick tip. Always check the Keras documentation for the latest updates on layers and functions. It can save you a lot of time and headaches. And there you have it. You now know how to use leaky reuse and other activation functions with parameters in Keras. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks on deep learning.